One of the hardest parts about losing your job isn't just the financial stress, the schedule change, or the shift in daily routine. It's the sudden, jarring question that creeps into your mind at 3 a.m. or in the middle of making coffee, or while staring at an empty calendar on a Monday morning. If I'm not doing what I used to do, then who even am I now? You don't just lose a job, you lose the version of yourself that had an answer. When someone asked, "So what do you do?" you lose the shorthand you used to justify your place in the world. You lose the identity that made you feel seen, useful, relevant, valid, and in that vacuum, self-doubt rushes in. The world taught you that worth is earned, that value is proven through productivity, that purpose comes from doing, achieving, delivering, performing. So when you stop doing, when you're forced to pause, when your output disappears, your inner critic gets louder. It tells you that you're falling behind, that you're no longer important, that people who are still doing are better than you. That until you have a new title, a new offer, a new announcement. You're in limbo, but that voice is wrong. That voice is a lie. That voice is the conditioning of a society that forgot what it means to be human. The truth is this: you are more than what you do. You are not your job title. You are not your income. You are not your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your latest project, or your last achievement. You are not a machine built to produce. You are a soul, a presence, a whole human being, and your worth, your deep, unshakable, eternal worth is not earned. It's inherent. It was never based on what you could do for others. It was never based on your ability to meet deadlines, or hit goals, or solve problems. It was never based on how many hours you worked, how many promotions you got, or how many followers you gained. You were worthy the moment you arrived on this earth. You are still worthy now, even here, especially here in the quiet, in the in-between, in the space where nothing big is happening. You're still worthy even if you rest, even if you're uncertain, even if you say, "I don't know who I am right now," because the truth is this moment, this uncomfortable identity stripping moment, is a sacred one. It's not just a detour, it's a return. A return to self, a return to the parts of you that existed long before a job title ever validated your place in the world. The part of you that loves deeply, that listens with intention, that laughs without performance, that thinks curiously, that creates without needing to monetize it, that walks into a room and makes people feel safe without even trying that version. If you didn't disappear when the job ended, that version of you is the truest one. And maybe, just maybe, this reset isn't here to punish you. Maybe it's here to help you remember. Remember that you are allowed to exist without performing. That you are allowed to breathe without justifying with a calendar full of meetings. That you are allowed to be seen without having to impress anyone. That you are allowed to take up space not as a role, but as a person. The beauty of this moment is that it strips away what was never real in the first place. The illusion that your value came from your business. The illusion that your success came from your exhaustion. The illusion that if you just worked hard enough, you'd be safe forever. Those illusions were always fragile. This moment, it's your chance to build something stronger, something more rooted, something more human. So how do you find your identity again after job loss? You don't find it in a new letter. You don't find it by rushing into something that doesn't align just to feel valid again. You find it by asking deeper questions. What do I value when no one's watching? What do I miss that had nothing to do with productivity? What kind of person do I want to be when no one is measuring me? What makes me feel most like me, whether or not I get paid for it? You rebuild your identity not through doing more, but through remembering who you were when you were still whole, before the world told you to earn your worth. You reconnect with people who see you for your essence, not your resume. You give yourself space to feel, to grieve, to question, to imagine. You give yourself permission to not have the answer. When someone asks, "What do?" you smile and say, "I'm in between chapters right now, but I've never been more present in my own story." Because your story is not paused, it's deepening. You are not less without the job. You are learning how to live in a way that no job can define. And when you do, turn to a new role, a new calling, a new chapter, you'll return, not as someone chasing identity through a title, but as someone who already knows who they are. You'll walk in grounded, aligned, whole, and your energy, not just your skill set, will be undeniable. But even before that return, you are enough fully now, not someday. Not when you land something now. And that's the truth I want you to carry into this week. This season, this reset. You are not what you do, you never were. You never will be, you are who you are. When everything else is stripped away, and that person is still here. Still breathing, still worthy. Still home, keep going. Keep remembering, keep coming back to yourself. That is the most important work you'll ever do. And you're doing it right now. One breath, one day. One brave moment at a time. There's a voice that gets louder in transition seasons. A voice that whispers that if you're not moving fast, you're falling behind. That if you're not launching the new thing immediately, fixing everything overnight, rebuilding at lightning speed, you're somehow wasting time. That if you don't have a clear 5-year plan, a perfect next move, a shiny comeback story ready to post, you are failing at your own reinvention. And because the silence of in-between seasons is so loud, it's tempting to believe that voice. It's tempting to rush to leap. To choose the next thing just to quiet the anxiety. To take the first offer, the first opportunity. The first anything that looks like momentum, even if it doesn't feel aligned. Even if it doesn't honor who you are now. Even if it demands that you shrink yourself. Just to fit in, it's tempting to perform progress. Instead of living into real, honest growth. But here's the truth. You don't have to rush your reinvention. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to sit with the unknown longer than is comfortable. You are allowed to build carefully, intentionally. Truthfully, you are allowed to become at a pace that honors your healing, your values, your vision, because the goal is not just to get somewhere fast. The goal is to get somewhere true, somewhere real, somewhere you can breathe, somewhere you can stay. You are not behind because your timeline looks different. You are not failing because your transformation isn't visible yet. You are not less worthy because you're moving at the speed of integrity instead of the speed of panic. Real reinvention is not a sprint. It's a slow, sacred unfolding. It's a dismantling of what no longer fits. It's a questioning of what you once thought you needed. It's a reimagining of what's possible. It's a rewriting of old narratives that told you your worth was tied to productivity, to performance, to perfection. It's a remembering of your own voice, your own dreams, your own agency. And that kind of reinvention, it's not supposed to happen overnight. It's supposed to take time. It's supposed to be messy. It's supposed to stretch you, test you, deepen you. It's supposed to strip away the layers you wore to survive. So, when you rise again, you rise as someone who doesn't just fit into a life, but owns it. So if today you feel like you're too slow, too lost, too late, let me remind you, you are exactly on time for your own becoming. There is no universal timeline for transformation, and there is no expiration date on dreams. There is no shame in pausing long enough to be sure. Pausing is not quitting. Pausing is not weakness. Pausing is wisdom, because sometimes the most radical thing you can do in a world that worships speed is to move at the pace of soul instead of the pace of fear. Fear says hurry up so you don't fall behind. Soul says slow down so you can hear what's true. Fear says grab whatever you can before it's too late. Soul says wait for what match is who you are becoming. Fear says perform so you look like you're okay. Soul says heal so you actually are. You get to choose which voice you follow. You get to choose whether you rush into a new life that feels just as hollow, or whether you wait, rebuild, reimagine until you can step into a life that feels like home. You get to choose patience over panic. You get to choose presence over performance. You get to choose wholeness over hustle. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's vulnerable to live without the tidy story, the impressive update, the clean narrative arc. But this in-between season, it's not dead space, it's just station space. It's the soil where your next chapter is taking root. It's the forge where your next identity is being tempered. It's the sacred cocoon where your next becoming is slowly, quietly, beautifully unfolding. You may not be able to see it yet. You may not be able to measure it yet, but it's happening. Every small decision to honor your gut, every brave choice to say no to what isn't right, every tear cried over a future that didn't happen, and every deep breath taken in surrender to what might still come. Every day you choose honesty over urgency. Every time you choose rest over self-betrayal. Every act of self-trust, however small. It's all building you, it's all preparing you. It's all strengthening the foundation that will hold the life you're about to create. And when you finally emerge, not rushed, not forced, but ripened by patience, you will carry a presence, a groundedness, a power that cannot be faked. a presence that comes only from having stayed true to yourself when it would have been easier to abandon yourself, a groundedness that comes only from having been willing to be lost, to be slow to be uncertain, without giving up a power that comes only from having learned that your future, your becoming were never dependent on speed. They were dependent on trust. So trust yourself now, trust your timing. Trust your slow steps, trust your unfolding. You are not missing out, you are being made ready. You are not falling behind. You are becoming aligned, you are not starting over. You are starting deeper, you are not lost. You are finding your way home to yourself. This is what real reinvention looks like. This is what real transformation feels like. And it is beautiful, and it is enough. And you are enough exactly as you are. Exactly where you are, exactly in this moment. Keep going slowly, honestly, bravely. The life that's waiting for you on the other side of this season isn't rushed, it's ready. And soon you will be too.